When investigators knocked on the door where James Precht was staying, they say he gave them a different name.
And that allowed them to arrest the man they wanted to question about his wife's death. Barbara Hess Precht was found floating in the Ohio River 8 years ago. Indian Hill residents James and Barbara had vanished decades before. After two exclusive reports by Local 12's Deborah Dixon, police got calls leading them to the mysterious man who was hiding in plain sight.
At one time, James Precht had a prestigious job with Cincinnati Public Schools. In court this morning, his attorney said he's got all sorts of degrees. He wanted Precht released on charges he gave a fake name, therefore interfering with a death investigation. Judge set a bond anyway.
He is a lifelong resident of the area, other than some time he spent in the military. He is a veteran with an honorable discharge.
Lifelong, except for the years after he and wife Barbara Hess and daughters left town quickly, left their Indian Hill home as if they were on the run, left after men in black suits, possibly with guns, argued with them. Lifelong resident, except for the years they were in California, where they dropped their daughters off at an orphanage and seemingly disappeared until they came back here.
Apparently, they've both been back here for many years, and I'm not sure exactly how many years they've been back prior to her death, and that's a question that we need to ask. And what brought them back here?
And apparently James Precht has been back here for years. At least that's what he tells people in the neighborhood, where he's called Mr. Jim. He seems to stay around Clifton, where people will let him. Yesterday, it was an apartment here on University Avenue. Some I talked to think he's homeless. Definitely a talker and a bit of a name dropper, but I'm told he's never dropped the name Barbara.
He has a good way of making you feel good and believe in whatever he's saying.
Do you think any of it's a con?
You get a lot of people around here say, oh, there goes Mr. Jim, Mr. Con artist, but I've never known him for that. I just know all blessings when he comes around.
Kind of always floating around. He's on campus a lot, just talking to people. Just seems like kind of enjoys talking to people, I guess. I don't really know a whole lot about him. I just know that he's pretty social around campus. So
now he's talking to investigators who are asking about Barbara Hess. He says they were here together in 2006. That's when her body was pulled from the Ohio River. It appeared she was going somewhere in her black skirt, pantyhose, lipstick, and 2 strands of pearl-like beads. But where? James Precht should know.
What happened on that day? What happened? Was he anywhere near her? Does he know what happened?
And since she never came home that November day, why didn't he report her missing?
That's a good question to ask, too, is why didn't you report her missing?
Unless he knows what happened to her.
See, that's the thing that gets me. They're both here in 2006 when she drowns. She's gone, and he doesn't call the police and go, my wife is missing. That needs some explaining.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Is he an official suspect, or what are they calling him?
It's a death investigation. He's a person of interest. And they gotta, is it suicide? Is it accident? Is it homicide? That's where they are right now. But he's a big missing link.
Yeah, but a lot of questions remain.
Absolutely. So many. We're not over here.
Yeah,
Rob.
no, you'll
be
back. Thanks, Deb. Police are there saying that there are a lot of people in the community, they think, who have more information about James Precht and Barbara as well. It was after a story we ran on Tuesday that a call came to Crime Stoppers telling police where Precht was staying. Crime Stoppers' 24-hour hotline is 352-3040. You can leave your tips without leaving your name.